What's happening, Wisdom Warriors? Back at it for another video. Hello everybody, how's everybody doing? Um, well, let's just say that, like I said in my video initially, well, welcome to the Sunday sermon. Today kind of is bittersweet. It's bittersweet because a lot has transpired in the last couple days for me. And but yet I realize that I have to keep picking myself back up and keep moving forward, as tough and difficult as that may be and feel. Um, and today's Mother's Day, and anybody that is a mother or woman or female, I wish you a happy and healthy Mother's Day. Um, Although, like, I don't really feel like we should wait till um, they tell us in the 3D that, oh yeah, you should go out and buy chocolate for Mother's Day. You know, I feel like honoring each other, and not only mothers, but just everyone, honoring ourselves and honoring others for what we're doing here on this earth. I mean, it is not easy. I mean, I hit some turbulent waters yesterday. Today's my dad's birthday. This is the first year officially that he's not here anymore in the physical. And to be honest with you, I was crying. And I miss him. And it's hard, man. It hurts. It's hard to watch him last year spiral like out of nowhere and very quickly. It sucks. And it hurts, and there's anger, and there's frustration, and there's hurt. And I'm honoring it today. I'm honoring my feelings, and um, yeah, there's no other word really other than it's tough. And I kind of got, you know, multiple titles that came through, but to combine them together. And, I want to talk a little bit about everything is temporary and there's no guarantees. And that's what every single thing in this game that we're in, because that's essentially what it really is. Uh, it's a game, and I don't want to believe that there's evil or hurt people out there that could do harm to others. I don't want to believe that, but me not wanting to believe it or see it is just perpetuating the problems, and when, yes, there's hurt people that are hurting others. And is it right? No. Should something be done? Yes. Will it? Yeah, at some point. And you may never see that thing happen. But yesterday was another wake-up call for me. Actually, two. I had two massive wake-up calls to just remind me that everything is temporary. Um, it's funny because in this life that I chose, um, Well, the only things that ever were really long lasting, which has continued, is my business, is the business. And my dad was around for my entire, most of my, well, not my entire life, but up to this point, he was around. So that was up to last year. That was my entire life. He was around. And he battled multiple diseases in the body, cancer 3 times. And, but he made it through 2 of them. And the third one, I understand, man. It came up upon a very dark time that we're in. And he just didn't have it in him anymore. And it was his time, as he said in the Akashic Records. You know, and he said, we make choices before we come here. You know, there's certain choices we make before we come here. And you just sometimes wonder why good people that have really, really good hearts and want to see, really, really want to see good on this planet don't make it, and the ones that do hurt others are still here and are flourishing. At least that's what it looks like or seems like. So today I sit here in front of you all and I open my heart and I am fully transparent and vulnerable, and I feel vulnerable, and yet I just feel called to do this, you know, on my father's birthday, that to honor him for, as difficult as our relationship was, and up and down, nothing will take away how much he loved me and how much I loved him. And through these times that a lot is secrets are coming up and a lot is being revealed, we're finding out how there is no guarantee. We're finding out how temporary things really are. Because we've gone so long with people living in the same house for their entire life, never having explored anything on the planet, or traveling even out of their town that they grew up in. And that just goes to show how long the universe has given us. And now we're finding faster and faster of how little control we have, of how temporary this place really is, of how there is no guarantee. And we can get caught up in it seemingly being like there's a guarantee, and oh, I get this paycheck every week, and oh, I had this job for 25 years, and oh, I was married for 100 years, and all these different things that we see in the external, or we were in, and little did we know, we get this whiplash of, oh, somebody passes on, or we lose a job we've had for so long, or a natural disaster happens, or these situations that force us out of those moments of feeling comfort and feeling like it's guaranteed, when it's really not, when it's more or less an illusion. Does it make it any easier? Hell no. Am I going to sit here and sugarcoat anything? Have I ever? No. And I felt, I would venture to say, probably I started feeling anxious a little bit on Friday. It was like my body was telling me something, and then boom, I woke up Saturday morning and got some news that I didn't really know what to think of it, and I kind of honestly am still processing the news that came through on Saturday early morning, and I got some news on Friday, and I felt intuitively that it was possible that a family member passed away, another one, and I felt it intuitively. So it has not been easy. I would say the last 10 years. Um, and I'd probably venture to say the last 44 years, you know. I kept telling my dad that, and he got upset that I would tell him that and tell him that he doesn't understand. And damn well he understood because of what he went through. No question about it, he had moments that were great. But if you weigh out the great versus the not so great, it weighed out way more of the not so great. But there was a lot of great things that he had 3 kids that he loved and cared for and would do anything for. You know, and as much as we had moments that we weren't in alignment, um, I still loved him. I still did everything with him. And I mean, we sold t-shirts together when I was growing up. We went to auctions and sold stuff. These outdoor flea markets with him and a friend. And now I know when he passed last year, he was with his friends that he spent a huge amount of time with that passed away. And or soul tribe, whatever you want to call it. But I know he's happy and he's at peace. Does it negate the fact that he regrets um, the small things that he kind of didn't really he took for granted? No, because he said that. You know, all he wants to do is physically hug someone. You know, and you can't do that from there. I've spoke about this on previous videos. All I would love, I would love the opportunity right now to give him a physical hug, but he's not here anymore in the physical. He's not here anymore for me to do that, and it pains me. But one thing that I'm not going to do is suppress the feelings. One thing I'm not going to do is numb out. One thing I'm not going to do is try to, um, you know, um, like push away how I'm actually feeling. And I can tell you right now, since Thursday, I've been feeling kind of anxious a little bit and, you know, just not feeling so grounded. But then Friday, I felt semi grounded when I recorded that video out in nature. And then I already had a feeling in my body that something was off, and that lo and behold, early Saturday morning, come to find out somebody that I have worked with for over 20 years, on and off. It was not like a daily thing. It turned into a weekly thing. Um, the latter part of last year, like the end of last year, and they're having health issues, and they don't know exactly what is the case, and they have to terminate what we were doing together, and that was a source of income for me that now is no longer. And so it brought up a lot of fear and worry and frustration that I would have liked that if he would have told me sooner or given me a heads up. And it's not even about the money. It was just, I mean, that's part of it, of course, because, you know, a source of income is cut off, you know, but I would have liked him to mention to me sooner that he was having things going on with his health and, you know, and financial stuff, you know, but I kind of felt it intuitively, and week after week, and it's ran its course, and I have to settle into it. I have to lean into it. I have to surrender to it. I have to let go. I have to know that everything is temporary, especially now, especially ever since 2020. I really feel like it really started to get volatile. It really started to wake people up in the sense that this is not permanent, you know, because I feel like humanity has, you know, fell into that trap of feeling like everything was permanent and guaranteed. We've had that illusory or illusionary feeling, you know, and we've had like tragic things happen over the years. Back in 2001, we had something. You know, 2008 we had a financial thing. 2020 we had there was other years like 2011 and 2016. I feel like too, going into 2017. These were a lot of moments where if you weren't prepared, it was gonna like, you know, creep up and give you whiplash, so to speak, or a 2x4 across the head. You know, and I actually was saying prior to these couple things that happened to me this week, I don't need any more 2x4s. Please, universe. Please, I beg of you. You know, and man, I've gone through a lot, as I'm sure a lot of you have too. But it's been back to back to back for many years now, with very little breathing room, to say the least. You know, very little breaks in between before something else, you know, came about. And, you know, I've been doing nothing more than becoming a better individual. Just leaving things alone that don't serve me anymore, walking away from things that has been tremendously hard to walk away from, leaving things behind, giving things away, sending love and sharing my experiences and journey, and helping, you know, just holding your hand in mine as I go down this journey with you all, because we're all in this together. And yet today I felt really down bad. I don't even want to say that, because I'd rather use, like, I've been in my emotions. I've been feeling emotional. I've been feeling anger. I've been feeling frustration. I found myself walking out in nature and crying and getting extremely emotional. And then by the time I finally got back to the house, I said, "Why, Dad? Why?" I honestly feel like I don't have anybody. I feel like I'm walking this journey alone. And I know that I know that um, my guides and angels are here and protecting me and guiding me, but at the same time, losing my father, who I could literally go to talk about anything to, has been the hardest thing. I, I miss him so much, man. It hurts, man. It hurts. And to be honest with you, like, I literally feel like I've walked this journey alone by myself, but I had him in the physical. And yes, we didn't necessarily, um, we clashed a lot, you know, and I took a lot of it for granted because I didn't know how to handle my emotions. Um, a lot of us were never taught that. A lot of us were never taught how to be just be with our emotions and to let them come up, and we've been afraid of them. We've been scared of them, and we've been taught that, oh, they're gonna, like, if you're sad, you're depressed, and you're gonna be like that forever, and you got to take medication, and all these different things that made you feel stuck in that. And these emotions, because we weren't taught the proper way to manage them, I guess the word is, or just be with them, or allow them the space they need to come up and express them. We've suppressed them, and so it shows up in anger and in not a healthy way. And that's when people abuse others, and that's when people hurt other people, and that's when people mistreat and gaslight people, and you know and that's not fair, because some of us are doing the heavy lifting, and then we get gaslit, and we get mistreated, and we get emotionally abused, and you know and and then we're afraid to show it. We're afraid to express it. We're afraid to show up as all of ourselves. And if I'm going to be here going through this process with all of you, which today I questioned, I questioned. I said, why in the hell would I choose something like this, to completely forget everything and come here, and in this time in history, one of the hardest times we've ever experienced in the history of humanity. And yet I'm here. And yet I've been going through it. And yet I've been sharing my story to you all. And yet I've been, trying to be better each and every day and show up as all of me and the best of me. But then that isn't fully authentic either, because if I'm showing up the best of me, then you're not seeing the worst of me. You're not seeing all sides of me. And I come on here to tell you that I am going to continue this channel and continue to be fully authentic. And I have on every video. But I feel like this video has been like the most authentic I've ever been. And I want to show other men that it's okay. It's okay to have emotions, because we all have them. We all have them. It's no secret. We all have it. Like the only person that you're hurting by suppressing it and not showing all of you is you. The only person that is going to pay the price is you. And I promise you this, it's not a quick death or a transition onto the other side. It's a slow burn. It's painful. It's true suffering. And I've had enough of suffering. I've experienced suffering my entire life. And it's been kind of like a process of a silent suffering, and showing up, not on here, but prior. It's been a silent suffering, like a secret suffering, like where you show up and you hide how you actually really feel. And in actuality, I could never do that really, and it actually showed, and it kind of made things a lot worse with other individuals, because it wasn't my real authentic self. And if I was bothered by something, I would suppress it, and it would turn up in anger, and I would explode after a while. I was just basically a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that. And the fact is, I don't judge myself for it, and I don't I hold a lot of compassion for every version of me, because this is no easy game to play. Let's just say that. This is no easy game. But a lot of us want to try to brush that under the rug, or forget that how difficult this game actually is. And I said to my dad, like, I would venture to say, prior to him passing, I kept telling him, I don't know what I'm going to do without you. I don't know how I'm going to like make it. And I said that multiple times prior to him passing. Within probably, well, I definitely was saying it within the 6 months that he passed last year, and even prior to that. And he said it with conviction and courage, and he said, "You will be fine, Darren. You will be fine." And that doesn't negate the fact that how I feel and how I did everything I could possibly do in my eyes to try to help him. To try, but he just, like he said, it was his time. Because if it wasn't, I believe and I know for a fact that he would have fought a lot harder than he was. I know that because I know what kind of soul and what kind of what the, the the mindset he had. He was extremely disciplined, and he was a fighter. And no matter how many times he got knocked down, man, he got back up, and he kept moving forward, and he kept going. And trust me when I tell you, he went through a lot. Eventually, if it calls to me, I plan to write a book that he never finished and continue his legacy, and not only his but mine, and not doing it for him but doing it for myself, because this is my life to live. And but at the same time, I want to honor his legacy and his story. I know his story will live on to help others, because that man right there was a warrior. He defines this channel's name and the purpose of this channel so perfectly, just like I have and I do. The discipline that man had, the mental discipline, it got to him at the end. But he was truly a warrior, and he truly came here to help, serve, and change humanity. There's no doubt in my mind that he was a light worker. No doubt in my mind. A part of the 144,000. Because majority of his life, that's what he was doing. Every person he came in contact with was drawn to him, that had something going on with them, that he stood there taking his time up, his time that he could never get back, to help them, to give them advice, to share his story, to tell them what he did, so that maybe, in hopes, they were ready and they would change. That, my friends, is the true definition of the 144,000, of the light workers, of star seeds, of indigo kids, of whatever the names you want to call these things, here to shift the planet, here to shift consciousness, here to co-create this new earth that we're all creating. And that man got literally down to the last day, and I kid you not, the last day, man, he was up, moving around. Even the second day before, we went together to get a treatment, And me and him were walking up the stairs, 2 flights of stairs. He walked around the parking lot. I was like yelling in the parking lot, "Where are you, Dad? Where are you at? The car's over here." And he's walking around the parking lot. And this was the day before he passed. And the day of, he walked into the room where I was sleeping and said, "Darren, please God help me." He still was up on his feet, doing the best he could. But the pain got to him. And one of these days I will talk about what happened and his story, the last time. And at some point I will talk about, his battle with 4th-stage Hodgkin's lymphoma with a week to live back in 1997, and him overcoming that and living over 25 years later. So, we can do it. We just have to keep fighting and keep picking ourselves up and realizing that the darker it gets, the lighter our lights are shining. Because today has been a super rough day for me. And yet I'm trying to embrace the moments of feeling everything and allowing for the feelings in my body to release what's trying to come up and show me, and so I can see these different emotions and these different feelings. And do they feel good? No. Is there some that do and some that don't? Yes. Are we supposed to feel all of it? Yes. Are we supposed to try to push away the ones we don't like? No. They're telling us something. They're trying to show us something. And then when we ignore it and we try to dust it under the rug or push them away, they just get louder and louder and louder. Like the little kids in the back of the bus screaming your name. They just get louder and louder and louder the more you don't pay attention. But the more you attach to it, well, the louder it gets too. If you just hold space and you just allow for what is trying to come up, and not try to attach and say, well, this is me. This emotion is me and I'm that emotion. Instead of just seeing it for what it is and just feeling it and experiencing it like I did today on this channel. No, it's not easy to cry and to experience, but crying is healthy. I wasn't taught that. I was taught that it's unhealthy and it's wrong. And it's not good and you'll get sick if you do it, which is the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite. No wonder why so many of us don't cry and suppress it. Because probably majority of the men were taught it's not okay and it's not healthy and you'll get sick or some other rubbish they were told. And it's not true. It's healthy. It's a good thing. It's flushing these things out of your system. It's release. It's letting go. It's the more you fight these emotions and resist them, the louder they get, and they turn into a dis-ease in the body. They turn into blockages. And then we wonder why we have all these health problems, aside from what we're eating, but a lot of it starts with the emotions. And then you eat a certain way because you're angry at yourself or you're angry at the world, and then you use food to numb out and avoid the way you feel, and then you eat the garbage because you're suppressing everything and forcing it under the rug and fighting against it, and we end up using these things that can be good for us if we're at a healthy emotional place or emotional state. We end up using these things and they turn into addictions. I was there. I'm not going to deny it. I was partying 24/7. I was partying every weekend. I was doing it all, man. To not feel, to hide what I was actually feeling, because I didn't want to. I didn't want to, uh, you know, um, I didn't want to rattle things. I didn't want to cause conflict, and the only person that I was hurting was me. The only person I was hurting was me in the end. And what happened? I had health problems for a good majority of my life, and I don't wish that on anybody. I want us to keep moving higher in consciousness, to become more aware, to realize, okay, I'm feeling this way and that's okay. And there's nothing to change. I'm feeling sadness and there's nothing to change. I'm feeling anger and there's nothing to change. But like we've kind of adopted this way of where I can't show that side of me. I have to wear 12 masks with all these different people and individuals, and show up in different ways to different people and different situations. And I have to hide those parts of me. And even if I don't feel that great about me spending time with this individual, I'm going to do it to appease everyone around me, to people please, to be accepted, to be loved. And lo and behold, inside I'm going through hell inside of myself, and those days are numbered. Those days are gone. And the more and more we can express how we actually feel, the lighter we get, the freer we get. And has been my goal. One of my major goals, to continue healing and continue learning and growing and evolving and feeling these different emotions and expressing them. And it started for me years ago when I hit rock bottom. And that's when my journey really, really began, to the point where there was no holds barred, man. I know what the hell was going on. And, I would just cry all the time, anytime. And I honestly feel like now I've become a different person. I've become stronger. I've become more courageous. I have more self-worth and value to myself. And yet today and yesterday, I felt really vulnerable. And I felt really cracked open. And even right now, I feel tightness in my chest, And so, going forward, I am going to continue to be all of me and share all of me and share, everything. And you guys are on this journey with me, and I'm not only speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself. And as much as sometimes I don't want to be here anymore, and I know that we all have been there. and said, this sucks. Why did I choose this? You know, who would ever choose this in their right mind? You know, um, there is so many things to be grateful for, and so many miracles, and you know, so many things to be thankful for. And that's the thing that we have to remember and keep in the forefront, and to realize that all these things that are happening are fleeting and they're temporary. Just like you getting fired from a job is temporary. Just like you being, you know, it may seem like your entire life, like I feel like for me, and the struggles I've gone through and the ups and downs, but it's all happening for a reason. There is a greater plan, and we have to trust God and Source and the divine that they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Our higher self knows what it's doing. There's no mistakes. Everything that's happening is meant to happen. There's a reason behind it. We may find out in this life, and we may not. We may not find out till we leave and transition over. We may find out when we're here, you know, as our plan comes closer and closer together. We may. I can't promise you that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen the next few years. I feel things getting lighter. I feel like the light is shining so bright, or brighter. And when that happens, more darkness comes up. You know, because we're shining the light on the darkness. So yeah, we're going to have to go through difficulty before we get to that beautiful new earth, the golden age. I keep saying to myself, when is this going to happen? You know, but it's as quickly as humanity decides to wake up. You know, and the slower that takes, the slower people resist, the slower people don't want to wake up, the longer it's going to take. But make no mistake about it, it's happening, and it cannot be stopped. It cannot be stopped. We're at that pivotal point where it cannot be stopped. The seesaw has tipped the scale, and there's no stopping it. It's just a matter of when. You know, when. So I hope you enjoyed this sermon. This probably was one of my most open and honest. I mean, well, they're all honest, but this has been the most, you know, because man, I've been feeling it today. I'm not gonna lie, you know, and gone are the days of us like posting on Instagram only the good things. You know what I mean? Like showing, oh yeah, I got this expensive car, or this huge house, that you could possibly be just renting it for one day and then saying this is yours. You know what I mean? Like faking it till you make it type of thing. And I just feel like that is no more. I feel like we have no choice but to be fully honest and fully authentic and transparent. And the more we can do that, the more we're going to wake up our hearts. We're going to be humble. We're going to be loving. We're going to be kind. And we're going to just wake up more and more of humanity. And if you're here watching this, you're one of the ones who are here to help the lost, to walk humanity home to ourselves. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the Sunday sermon. I love you all so much. Happy Mother's Day. You know, just take care of yourselves, man, and each other, and you know, and just be good to yourselves, and give yourself a lot of compassion for going through this, because this is no easy task, and you got to pat yourself on the back and celebrate once in a while for what a warrior you truly are. Because this is, like I said, this is not easy, man, as you know for yourself. And it is tough, man. And I don't blame you for feeling down or sad or angry or frustrated or any of the feelings, joy or happiness, whatever it is, feel all of it. Feel all of it. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You're okay. Again, if you get feelings of intuition that you need to go get a doctor to see you, by all means do that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you what to do medically. I'm just telling you that our emotions were meant to feel all of them. And we have to do that. We cannot suppress them anymore. We cannot push them down. We cannot numb them out. We cannot avoid them. We cannot run from them. We have to face all of it. Face the feelings that are coming up. I love you all so much again. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. I appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing already, for commenting, for sharing your journey and your stories. I just love you all, man. I love the fact that we're creating this beautiful community for us to feel safe and share. Again, take care of yourself and each other. From my heart to yours. Let's go, Wisdom Warriors. We got this.